When I say New York, I bet you think of Manhattan. Manhattan is thrilling, but it's not all there is to the Empire State. We spent time in upstate New York and zenned out over its woodlands. There is a school and museum dedicated to the art of glassmaking. We found a thriving distillery in the Hudson Valley. There was also some sort of concert that happened in 1969 and the aftershocks of which are still reverberating throughout the place. Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected for 4 terms in office as our commander-in-chief. He practically broke the Constitution. We had to rewrite the thing. And he lived here. We'll cover those things, my next existential crisis, and whatever else I can think of in this episode of Leon's Great Escape. When you don't have a job, you have a lot of time to think. Probably too much time to think. Impermanence is the essential doctrine and part of the 3 marks of existence in Buddhism. The Buddha taught that because no physical or mental object is permanent, desire for or attachment to either causes suffering. I totally get it, but the implementation, that's another thing. Impermanence is also known as the philosophical problem of change. Other words used to describe it are transient, evanescent, and inconstant. I particularly latched on to evanescent, soon passing out of sight, memory, or existence, quickly fading or disappearing. Whether you're adrift, a seemingly humdrum life that you'd like to change, or teetering, the incendiary instability of transition, our constant remains time. As the old English proverb once said, time and tide waits for no man. It wasn't long ago that I found myself washed out in the mundane. My loved ones helped me muster the courage to jump off a cliff and free fall in a life that is anything but predictable. Our pursuit to find a home while living full-time in a motor vehicle without a decisive plan is the exact opposite of my former regimented salaryman role. The garish contrast hasn't exactly settled my nerves. Just as we discussed, time being a constant, I must reflect that I am the constant in my unrest. Even with that truth, I'm still petrified that we won't pull the ripcord in time and land gracefully. This show and these writings are, among other things, an attempt to slow the dulling of our memory of this adventure. And I'm happy to report that it's working. My neuroses aside, we're pulling together as a family and making strides towards our goals. We are digging deep within to find strengths that we were previously unaware of. So piss off, Father Time. Let me tell you about Watkins Glen. Actually, wait, no. Let me tell you how we got there first. We left Michigan at a furious pace, with Cleveland, Ohio in our sights. 231 miles of driving dropped us at a rundown RV park called Willow Lake Park. We only needed a place to drop our beast so we could romp around the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You'll hear some folks say that the Hall of Fame is a tourist trap, and I refute them. If you have a love for the history of rock and roll or music, then you'll love this place. They even have instruments set up at the ready for visitors to play. Be sure to check their calendar of events, as they often have live entertainment. We enjoyed our time here, and we would happily come back and spend another 2 or 3 hours. A long day at the Museum of Rock will make one hungry, so we decided to sample Skyline Chili. This is a famous establishment in Ohio, and they're a bit heavy on the cumin, in my opinion. Our bill came out to $20, so it's affordable to make your own decision. There's also a pretty decent brewery really close called Noble Beast Brewing Company. This is where we met our new friends, Allie, Matt, and their daughter, Ada. I must have been having a real good time, because I didn't take any footage of this encounter, or Noble Beast. Nevertheless, we may meet up with them in Kentucky. We'll see. The next day, we split from Cleveland, with New York getting ever closer, but our stomachs predictably grumbled at the lunch hour. A pit stop in Erie, Pennsylvania was what transpired. It was a stroke of genius when Lucky Louie's Beer and Wieners invented the preparation of a hot dog which resembles that of an octopus. They call it the Octo Dog. Pepper nearly blew a gasket. Candace and I had the Hog Dog and the Breakfast Beard. The Hog Dog, as read from the menu, is described as bacon, 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 pepperoni, and cheese sauce. The breakfast beard is a Smith and Dewey's sausage and a French toasted bun, fried egg, and bacon on top with maple syrup and powdered sugar. Pro tip, ask them to add cream cheese. These are habit forming. You've been warned. Okay, enough with the preamble. We spent a total of 10 nights in upstate New York, and we could have spent 3 or 4 times that and still had plenty to do. Let's discuss what the Hudson Valley actually is. We'll go right to the source of truth on this. In this case, it's Hudson Valley, TravelHudsonValley.com. Hudson Valley is a 10-county region designated by I Love New York to promote tourism for the area. Counties include Albany, Columbia, Dutchess, Greene, Orange, Putnam, Rensselaer, I don't know, you look that up, Rockland, Ulster, and Westchester. The Hudson Valley extends 150 miles above the tip of Manhattan north to Albany. Designated as a National Heritage Area, the valley is steeped in history, natural beauty, culture, and a burgeoning food and farmers market scene. Whoa. I'll be the judge, jury, and executioner on beauty, culture, food. TravelHudsonValley.com. So presumptuous. Watkins Glen took up 5 of our 10 evenings. So if you find yourself here, then get thee to Castle Gritch and Toby's Donut Shop post haste. Castle Gritch is a winery that was established in 1983 by a Swiss-German couple. We enjoyed a tasting there. We also spent the night. They're a member of the Harvest Toast program. Toby's Donut Shop serves fresh-made donuts and greasy breakfasts that will keep you going strong all day. The staff at Toby's are one of a kind and a show all to themselves. They make you feel right at home, especially if your home is regularly chaotic and prone to emotional diatribes. We loved it. Watkins Glen is about 40 minutes from Corning, and Corning is where you'll find the Museum of Glass, and it's a spectacle. They offer classes where you can get up close and personal with the art itself. I took a glass blowing class for $32 where I blew into a metal tube, but that was as far as my physical interaction went. I suppose it wouldn't be wise or safe for someone with no prior knowledge or experience to wield 2400 degree molten glass on a 5-foot rod. It was still amusing, and you get to keep the ornament that you participate in the creation of. I bestowed my creation to our Aunt Gabby for her 50th birthday, and she really dug it. At one point in my life, I read a book. Enough with the applause. The book in question was titled Masters of Craft, and I highly recommend it. Here's a blurb from the foreword. In today's new economy, in which good jobs are typically knowledge or technology-based, many well-educated and culturally savvy young people are instead choosing to pursue traditionally low-status manual labor occupations as careers. Masters of Craft looks at the renaissance of 4 such trades: bartending, distilling, barbering, and butchering. The Tut Hill Distillery was prominently featured within this book, and it's located in the Hudson Valley. For $10, you can get a tasting flight of their goods. For $2 more, you can get that tasting and a tour. I think you know what to do from here. If you hadn't had your fill of spirits, then head over to the Mercantile and try their aged apple brandy. Unfortunately, you can only purchase a bottle of the unaged product, but they'll make a mighty fine old-fashioned with their reserved, and you'll be happy that you made the trip. Once they've upped their supply, they'll be able to part ways with the aged stuff, and I'll be back for that. All of this liquor talk is making me want to hike jagged rocks and find a waterfall. Let's peruse the Catterskill Falls. Catterskill is a 2-stage waterfall on Spruce Creek in the eastern Catskill Mountains. Candace and I took turns carrying and guiding Pepper down the, at times, treacherously rocky path to see this fantastic fall. After we sweat through our clothing, we enjoyed a fine meal and a birthday celebration for our sweet little girl. Pep also spent hours looking for the perfect toy at Tinker Toys 2 in the town of Woodstock. You should know that the famous Woodstock concert was actually held on a 600-acre dairy farm in a town called Bethel, which is 43 miles southwest of Woodstock. Bethel has a monument that celebrates the famous event and a museum. We didn't make it out that way, but maybe you will. Woodstock, New York has plenty of nods to music, arts, and crafts. and is a place you can spend a day or two wandering about. 40 minutes from Woodstock, you'll find yourself in Hyde Park, New York. And it is the birthplace of one Franklin D. Roosevelt. It is also where you will find his home and presidential library. FDR was elected President of the United States 4 times: 1932, 1936, 1940, and 1944. As a result of FDR's unprecedented 4 terms, the 22nd Amendment of the United States Constitution was ratified in 1951, limiting all future presidents to 2 terms. He was a fighter. At age 39, and what seemed like the top of his game, he was stricken with polio and lost the ability to walk. Instead of sulking, he bolted on a pair of metal leg braces and invented the Franklin Shuffle to make it appear as though he could walk. It's also speculated that his wife Eleanor was bisexual and entangled in a long-term love affair with her bodyguard. This is the sort of salacious stuff that you find at presidential libraries. Drive 5 or 10 minutes from FDR's place, and you'll see the Culinary Institute of America. The grounds are immaculate, and they provide dining options. Additionally, Anthony Bourdain attended here. He was a pretty significant figure. Let's talk domicile. Hudson has a median home price of $210,000 according to Trulia. The winters up here are wonderlands, but that's not what we're looking for. If you have remote work, appreciate nature, and a really cold season, this could be for you. You're also a 2 to 3 hour drive from Manhattan, so you could play in the city on occasion. Play is what we consider this beautiful place. We hope to make it back here again, but we won't be putting roots down permanently. For now, I'll continue to ruminate on impermanence, mortality, and how to optimize our counter space in the motorhome. Next stop for us will be Cape Cod, and I am super excited. As always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you know someone that might like it, then share it their way. Finally, please subscribe to our channel and be sure to click that bell so you get updates when we post new videos. We're hot on the trail of our new home, and we enjoy sharing what we learn with you. Au revoir? I think that's French for see you later. Anyway, bye!